Okay, as far as upcoming games for 2020, it looks very promising. One of the few titles everybody's talking about right now is Resident Evil 3 to remake. And based on what we've seen with the visuals and the trailer and all that, Capcom's Resident Evil 3 game is probably going to be one of the hottest games that the company releases in 2020. And a lot of people have a lot of high expectations and high hopes for this game. And as far as the Resident Evil 2 remake, which came out back in early 2019. Basically, that was a game that was largely successful, and I believe it reached at least 5 million sales worldwide, probably more than that by the time we got to December of 2019, which was this past month. And basically, the remake of Resident Evil 2 definitely exceeded the original in more ways than one, with overhauled gameplay, better visuals, you know, um, better atmosphere and all that stuff, which really helped the storytelling aspect of that particular game. And it seemed like the Resident Evil 3 remake looks as promising as Resident Evil 2 remake, which came out this past year. Now, as far as the original version of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, which came out back in '99, I mean, there were some. I mean, the game was definitely praised by critics, and a lot of people thought the game was definitely pretty cool, but at the same time, there were some minor drawbacks in relation to voice acting, and I guess the story being too short and all that stuff in comparison to Resident Evil 2. And these are issues that Capcom could definitely take care of, and which could definitely improve the overall gameplay experience for those who are fans of the original Resident Evil 3 game. And I believe the original Resident Evil 3 game managed to sell slightly over 3.4 million copies since its initial release back in, I believe it was in September of '99. I'm not quite sure, but I believe it was sometime in '99. So it's been over 20 years since that game was released, and it was a game that proved to be really successful. Not quite as successful as the original Resident Evil 2 game, but definitely successful to be seen as a memorable classic for the PS1. And as far as like the atmosphere and the tone and all that stuff for Resident Evil 3, it definitely seems darker than 2. It's one that's really menacing. It's one that a lot of people can easily sink their teeth into. So the fact that we're getting a Resident 3 or a Resident Evil 3 remake altogether is something that a lot of people are really stunned by, because I remember, I believe, on one of my previous videos from a while back, I asked the question whether or not Capcom was going to be doing a Resident Evil 3 remake. And, at first, I didn't think it was going to happen, but at the same time, I kind of knew it was only going to be a matter of time, seeing how successful Resident Evil 2 remake was. So it's pretty cool that this is definitely going to happen. And as far as the official release date for this game is concerned, I'm not sure when it's coming out. Hopefully, it's coming out in 2020. It's most likely going to come out in 2020. And based on what we've seen with the trailer and the visuals, look like the development of the game is going along just fine. So, who knows? We might see the game either at or before E3 2020. Hopefully, we get it before this upcoming fall, but we'll just have to wait and see.